Back in 2004, there was an incident off the southwestern coast of the United States, kind of near Mexico. The USS Nimitz and other vessels in the region and aircraft monitored some unknown aerial vehicle that was displaying characteristics that were not indicative of something that the military had any knowledge of. I'm sure many of you are aware of this. It's called the Tic Tac UFO incident. We've covered it before. There's an aspect of this particular incident that I don't think a lot of people have really wrapped their minds around yet. Because reading the reports just verbatim, it's hard to paint the picture of where it occurred and the amount of distances covered and the time in which they were covered. Now, I'm going to try to show that in this video and also show you some new finds over near the Bahamas as well that correlate with this exact anomaly. Now, as per the description of the FA-18 pilots, this is a graphic representation of the size in scale of what they saw. It was white, elongated, and they described it basically as a tic-tac. I don't know any other way. But you can see that the vehicle, the aircraft they were flying, was actually bigger than this one was. Now, the disturbance on the surface of the ocean below this was far larger. It was the size of, they said, a Boeing, I think, 777. The weird part about it was this. Had this not come from Navy footage, the gun camera on an FA-18, I think a lot of people would have already gone out of their way to debunk it. If it had been a person like you or me with, even if we had higher tech cameras and longer amounts of footage, it would have been debunked. But because this is an FA-18 and the craft, whatever it is, was confirmed there by the USS Princeton, which was a destroyer. There was an E-2C Hawkeye above that confirmed its existence. There was the Nimitz itself, and then there was the FA-18. All these levels and layers of redundancy is what gives this its credibility. Now, real quick, let me show you something. As far as we're talking about the distances go. When the FA-18s were dispatched, they were here off the coast of San Diego between Santa Catalina and, Santa Catalina and San Clemente Islands. They were then dispatched the 140 miles, which is about 250 kilometers, down to here, off the coast of Mexico. This is where it occurred. To show you the distances and the time covered. By the time the FA-18s had reached here at maximum burn, in a matter of minutes or less, this whatever it was back here. When the FA-18s began to approach this thing shot off into the distance to the northwest and ended up showing back up on radar here. That's the difference in distance. That's what makes this so incredible and unbelievable that this could be any natural phenomenon. You can pretty much get rid of any idea of some radar malfunction because it would have had to have happened in 4 places at the same time, which is almost statistically impossible. Now, over in the Bahamas, we have shown a great many anomalies. However, I want to show you something that I think is no accident. All of these areas I have labeled untitled placemark, there have been, on the seafloor, things that you cannot explain. These very, very strange shapes. This is one of them. Now, initially looking at this, the first thing you might think is sub. You have the submarine shape, you have what looks like a conning tower. But then, if you look closer, you think, wait a minute, could that be a shark? Some large Megalodon creature? Because you have that too, and if you look closely down here, you could almost see the remains of a pectoral fin. It's a very, very strange shape, but let me turn off the... There we go. So you can see it without any interference. Now let's go to historical imagery, and it gets even stranger. Okay, this is 2019 because, of course, the water is very churned up here. You can't see it. Okay, so back, now here we are in 9/7/2017. Let me see if I can show this at the same time. Upper left, the bar that we know that we can go back in time and look at different images. Now here we are, January 24, 2017. Some minor changes, but generally speaking, the exact same shape. Now, this is February 11th, 2016. Very, very different, but there's something there that unless you zoom in, you won't see. We're going to zoom in real close. Haven't we seen these shapes before? Antarctica and other locations? The brow ridge, the eyes, the nose, the shape of the head. Beyond coincidence for both shapes here. And real quick, I'll get out a ruler and measure this. In feet. We'll do it in feet first. .59 feet. So, I mean, not prohibitively large for a skull. In meters, that is about 1.7 meters. This one being more circular, I think we're just going to go ahead and do a circle measurement on it to give you a better, more accurate description. Starting in the center. A radius of about 0.9 meters, which is about 3 feet. So they're about the same size, roughly 5 to 6 feet across. I'm not exactly sure what they are, but I know what they look like. And it's weird if you make the assumption that this could be some perhaps large megalodon creature that there's this thing called whale fall, where a large creature dies and then sinks to the ocean floor, and then they've shown the video of all of the different animals that take advantage of this. What if this were the same thing, just with a megalodon? Real quick on the measurement here, though. I'm sure a lot of you are curious. I think you can tell how big it is based on the size of those things that you can't hardly even see. Oops, 1 second. Let me get to line. There we go. For the entire shadow, about 980 feet long, 299 meters. Whatever it is, it's enormous. Now, also relating to this Tic Tac Craft, check this out. This is another location that I found, and it was one of these weirdish purple anomalies that showed up that we've seen all over, and not knowing what they are, let me show you something that you're not going to believe. Let me see if I can find it in the right ear. Now, here's the kicker about this. It's white, it's tic-tac in shape, and let's measure real quick the size. In meters, 12.56 meters, or 41 feet. Okay, now let's go back to the description from the pilots. It's literally the exact same size as what was described by the FA-18 pilots, and it's existing right over top of one of these strange purple anomalies that we have found on the seafloor in the Bahamas. Is that a coincidence? Who knows? But anyway, once again, I will of course give you all of these locations, and you can look this up for yourself. I know a lot of you might think this is a boat. I've seen a lot of boats down here, and there's a lot of pictures of them. This is way too blurry to be a boat. Usually boats have some type of a trail behind them, even if they've cut their engines. And this thing, and like I said, this thing is parked directly over. Let me clear this out. One of these weird, almost pyramid-shaped, sometimes pentagon-shaped, purple anomalies. I mean, right on top of it. Let me see if I can find a better year here to show this. Looks like I had the best year. This is 6/8/2015. It's right here. I know what I'll do to make this easier. There we go. It's very easy to see, especially higher up like this. Whatever that was, it's exactly the same thing that the FA-18 pilot saw. You guys have a Merry Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve, and we'll see you next time.